Please go forward.
Thank you. Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. That said Roger Crawford, a tennis player and a motivational speaker. Being defeated is not my option. As Vicky already said when she introduced me, I have given only 4 evaluations for a year and a half. But despite that, I was told that my evaluations were not too bad. Of course, I used a trick. I asked speakers, and Dave knows that, to share their speeches before the meeting. That helped me to understand and to structure the evaluation. Am I anxious about giving an evaluation? Not at all. Instead, I'm eager to structure an evaluation in 10 minutes during the meeting, which is my challenge. Because of that, I set a goal for the next Toastmasters term to learn to give evaluation under time pressure during the Toastmasters meeting. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop where you are constantly thinking about what you have done and how you could be doing it better. That Elon Musk said, and I totally agree with him. However, did you notice generally in life how most people react when receiving constructive criticism? They push back, they negate, they may get offended. Yes, receiving constructive criticism is a skill. Recently, I realized that receiving constructive criticism is my strength, which helps me grow. And I learned that in Toastmasters. For example, when Sharon from our team evaluated my speech, I asked her to identify 3 words I pronounced incorrectly. Still, she said she could not understand phrases because of my speech speed and pronunciation. That was wow. But did I get offended? No. I am here to learn. I am here to make mistakes and learn from them. And now I'm taking an English pronunciation course. Thank you, Sharon, for telling me the truth. Well, that was about receiving feedback. Now about giving feedback. Giving feedback is more than a skill. It is a responsibility. It is care. Feedback may be sensitive because you never know the personal or cultural background of the receiver. And your feedback may touch a very sensitive thing. But on the other hand, feedback might change your path, career, and life. And that also can be learned in Toastmasters. So fellow Toastmasters, please don't be upset with me if I take an evaluation role, but I will not perform it at the highest level. As you may expect, I'm here to learn to give evaluation. I am here to make mistakes and learn from them. We are here to make mistakes. That thought got stuck in my mind after recent discussion about a fellow Toastmasters who has been a member of a club for several months, but hasn't taken any role yet. The person I was talking with said he knows that fellow Toastmaster very well. He's a professional and he might be afraid of making mistakes in performing the roles. That brought me up the importance of the message that we give to the new club members. You are here to learn. You are here to make mistakes and learn from them. That's normal. Toastmasters is the most appropriate place where we can learn, get confidence, and develop communication and leadership skills. But that can be achieved only by learning, practicing, making mistakes, and mastering our skills. Mistakes. Mistakes should be examined, learned from, and discarded, but not dwelled upon and stored, said Tim Fargo, author and speaker on business motivation and human potential. Look at that picture behind me. That's my stair in Toastmaster, where I use each mistake to create those steps in building the stair to my goals. And I wonder, how do you use your mistakes? Thank you. Back to you.
Speech. And I would like to call onto our stage our second evaluator, Victoria, who I share quite a few things with. Victoria, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, wonderful guests today, and especially Kate. Kate, it's really an honor to evaluate your speech today because I was looking at your structure. I was also looking at ethos, logos, pathos, and kairos. Kairos means a message whose time has come. One of the things you did so well, Kate, and this was also how you established your logos, the common ground with us. You talked about something we all have to face. Your title was evocative, and it gave me a wonder. What mistake do you talk about? We all make mistakes. It could have been about your life, but you really made it about us because we're all here to become better evaluators and how evaluations affect us, because pretty much a great evaluation is going to tell us what we could do better, which I hope to do for you today. And we might internally believe that is a mistake. By you framing it as a mistake, but also showing it as a strength, you had this wonderful way to balance. You took us up and down in emotion, like very hard to hear. You called it constructive criticism. I always call it unconditionally constructive feedback. I don't like to be criticized, but I do like feedback. So think about if it makes sense for you taking the word criticism out and adding the word feedback in. Unconditionally constructive means I'm going to tell you something, you might not need to want to hear it, but I'm doing this to help, not to criticize. You talked about how getting feedback is easier for you than maybe giving it, but you also said it's so important. You also did a good job of saying, if I accidentally offend you, forgive me. And the truth is, we all can be offended, but that is our choice versus how a message is given. The careful way that we say something to others is how we don't offend. It is their choice to be offended. Some people look to be offended. You say hello to them and they're going, what's the matter? So that's not too much your problem, but I really love the fact that you're willing to step up and learn to do something better. You also had wonderful pauses. You don't have a lot of verbal clutches, and that was excellent because you have a great pace. You gave some examples of ideas of criticism from your words. You know what would have helped? Even more ideas of how you learn to do this, because it wasn't in Toastmasters, it's in life. And how you learn to accept feedback in life would have been a great way for you to continue to anchor your points. The only other thing I would add, two things actually. You gave a quote and then you said the person's name. It's better to use a person's name as a signifier, as so-and-so said, and then we know what it means, because you gave a good quote and then you said the person's name. I didn't know who it was. And it got a little disconnected for me. The only other thing is, do not thank us, my friend. Let us thank you. So give us a call to action so that we too can become better at feedback. Mr. General Evaluator.